Expert, politician, development expert also. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And Dosun Sako,
Yeah.
business growth consultant. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good to have you all here. Nengi, I know that you are being a political strategist, but the last time you were here, I was asking if you had intentions to run for office.
Oh.
Where you know now everybody's talking politics now. 2018 is around the corner. Just to know if anything has changed and if you're throwing your hat in the ring this time around for 2018.
Kim.
Putting you on the spot with this one, yeah?
Kim. Well, it's good to be here, and I actually want to thank your station, especially because in recent times we've been seeing new faces being brought here, and other stations as well, and it's a good thing because we're trying to change the narratives. Well, the last time I was here, of course I said it was time to work, and they say the tables turn, so I decided to be courageous, and I'm going to be running.
Oh.
And pretty soon, you guys will know what it is when I'm declaring officially.
All right.
You know, because it's time to actually change the whole mess. We're in a serious mess. So it's not about talking anymore.
All right. We can't wait for the time to be right for you to put the the formal announcement out. Until then, we'll keep talking and looking at the role of women. I mean, there are a lot of people who are rooting for women seriously, but we haven't felt much of women. And there's so much going on in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I know that we're not in the campaign season just yet, but we're seeing certain actors who are making themselves very prominent, who are leaving indelible impressions mark on our subconscious mind, who are making headlines, generating conversation by reacting in certain ways. But very few women are getting national attention per se. What's the strategy with women? I don't know. And Nengi, I'm going to throw the question back at you before we get to a barrister and those. You are a political strategist. Are women doing the right thing about this time? Because we have less than a year to get to the polls, and we're not getting strong feelings from certain women.
You're very correct, because I think there's been a whole lot of weariness, especially from after the elections to 15, because prior to that time we had lots of women who were actively involved in politics, but then we're having a very bad economic situation. People are weary, there's no money, and I think that has affected a lot of women. But back in my place, because some of us are having this sensitization and reorientating the people, especially the women. A lot of them are coming out, and it will shock you to know that one of my little girls actually declared a week ago on Facebook that she's running for governor.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's there's something happening. So I don't know about other states, but I know that generally there's this a lot of women are laid back because we know there is no money. The money is just in some few hands. So for those who are already in government, they're a bit weary and careful not to spend the little that they have because they're not sure what the outcome of 2019 will be. That's basically
I just caught Dosu nodding her head when
Yes.
you said women are laid back.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, did you nod because you agree they're laid back because of money, or they're laid back because they just don't know how to play this game?
No, I think that women generally are laid back because they have tried in the past and they have seen that the outcome is always the same. So I think they have just given up. I think that's the word I would use. Most women have given up because you find out that in the past they tried to come out, they tried to do what they could, and still they didn't get to where they were supposed to be. You see people who are unqualified who now occupy these positions that these women would have, successfully done a very good job at. So yeah, lazy, but I would like to say that most of them have given up. But the narrative is changing, and there's always blessing in disguise. So yeah, the economy is bad, but that has now birthed this solution where women are now coming out and saying, you know what, we're not just going to sit down again and just assume that things are going to be business as usual. Because even when you look at it from the homes, let's start from basic, from homes, women know how to manage resources, and to see resources just being squandered like this is heartbreaking.
But
So
managing resources, are we talking just saving it or how to invest it also? Women are good at the hoarding and the saving.
they also
I also want to believe We are good.
Oh,
at
we're very
investing.
good at investing
On the
because
national level, we need to make sure we're good.
yeah, but I mean, come on, Kimberly, if you're going to say that, there are bad politicians and there are good politicians across board, whether they be female or they be male. But what I'm saying here is that it's innate in female to, you know, manage resources and invest in them wisely. So I think that this is going to push more women to come out to do something about
All right,
it.
the economy will push them. They're feeling the pinch more than ever
Yeah.
right now. You wonder when is the time to start making that impact, if not now. When is the part to start getting? I mean, the reasons why we're seeing Luther's list is because of politics and because of the election. So we need to start
No, but we've
to
started.
trouble the waters a little.
We've started. On a very serious note, I've started. She's here. Barrister is here as well. We've already started. There's a networking going on.
Okay.
You know, and like I say, politics is grassroots. This is the federal capital territory. As
Right.
much as we all come here and we interact and we talk, you all have to go back home, and that's what we do. So when we get back home, we're already helping the young girls, especially the females who can go for councillor and can become local government chairman. It's already happening. So, but I think what is lacking is there's no media publicity, because what's going on is more of the social media. You know, you just have on Facebook and Twitter and the rest of them. But, you know, I mean, if you're going to ask AIT or what's it called, channels, they're just going to think, oh, these people are jokers or something, because there's no name to the persons who are coming up. But seriously, we're working. And it is for that singular reason that we're all here, different professionals. I'm an entrepreneur. She's a lawyer. She's doing her thing. So we're actually working, and you'll be amazed because we're going to take this nation by storm.
All right, I will believe that. I will take your words for it. I will take it by storm. But this storm is going to be the grassroots, starting from there, because you start to wonder, where do we start from? You can't just throw in your hat in the ring and think, okay, president. We've tried that before. Kowa had a female party, not a lot of support, maybe not strong enough back then. They will always take you back to Sarah Jibril during the primaries, how she didn't get beyond one vote. You now start to ask, where's the best place for women to start? Do we encourage more women in the grassroots, make your impact felt? Barrister, I'm throwing this one at you. What would just be your general advice?
We
Emphasize
have
on the
actually started from the grassroots. We have reached out to the very rural women, if there's anything like that really, because, you know, you call rural women. But we have, you know, they said women are laid back. No. We were laid back, maybe some months, maybe some years, but not now. Right now, like she said, we are going to take the country, the society, the globe by the, just like a storm, you know.
Absolutely.
We're galvanizing, we are mobilizing. There's a huge work going on the ground. And let me shock you, on the 9th of May, this coming May, there's going to be a heavy, huge political statement. Women, Nigerian women, the whole Nigerian women are going to gather at the Eagle Square.
I can't accommodate all of us.
Don't worry.
No, you can't.
No, but we'll have representatives. But we'll have representatives.
Yeah,
Every state, like as I'm talking to you now, from the platform we're working on right now, a very new platform but very huge, which is Women for Women Initiative. All right? We have every chapter. We have our chapters in all the states of the country. And the intention is we are going to have at least 350 women from each state here in Abuja on the 9th. And the issue is, look, we've had enough. We have jettisoned 35%. Whoever demanded for 35% affirmative action, I don't know what they were thinking, but we have grown and we have seen and we know.
Even though we haven't surmounted that hurdle of 35%.
That wasn't a hurdle. That
Really?
was
Just
not
written.
a hurdle. I don't know whoever thought that up, but this generation, my generation, is
where you
saying
breed.
it is nothing less
accepting
than 50%. You know why? The Constitution, Section 17, subsection 1 to 3 says, is founded under the social objectives, is founded on the ideals of justice, freedom, justice, equality, equity, fairness, equal opportunities. Now, my ground norm tells me that I have 50% that I'm equal, and you are telling me that you will give me 35%. Excuse me? I'm not asking, we are not asking, we are taking, we are appropriating, we are executing, we are enforcing.
Do we have the capacity to pull all of this?
Sorry? We do have the capacity.
Yes,
yes, we do.
It's about
We have the capacity.
We do.
One is that I know. Knowing alone is capacity.
Yeah.
Second is, what capacity are you talking about? I have the brain, we have the hands, we have the legs. What capacity do the male gender have that the female gender do not have?
For example, economic capacity.
Economic-
We always talk about the money.
So
Women are always
we're
proud
about
we
to,
don't have
like
it.
she said, we are changing the narratives.
changing
We're
it. We're changing
we're
it.
working together, and the moment we are together, we are stronger.
Absolutely.
I
And
have
In
that's what
always
the
30
men
preached
want.
minutes,
that.
I will
That's what the
shock
men
you.
Always
want.
preach
We
that.
were about-
exactly. They know
They have-
that once we come together,
Together, yes.
it
It's
would
no
be
longer working.
It's no
explosive.
longer business as usual.
It
It's
is no
explosive.
longer, you know
Different
what?
generation.
Touch my woman, I'm gonna take you down.
That's
I'm sorry.
it.
It's a different generation.
That's
We're
it.
not
I'm
ready.
for
We're not
woman.
cut out
First
at
for
all.
woman. I'm sorry,
That's
but pardon me if I have to be that way, because you know
Yeah.
why? We can't leave it the way it is
Yeah.
right now. We need a woman. We
And-
need
and-
a woman
and
to be
those
present.
supporting
They have
beating drums.
look where we are. So they should actually take the back seat and let the women try. No, but really, if Amina could do what she did in her time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she went to
Yeah.
war.
Yeah.
She defended her community.
Yes.
And what are we talking about here right
What
now?
about Winnie Mandela?
Winnie Mandela.
Winnie Mandela
I
liberated
know.
her people. That's like how many years ago? And here we are now. So we want women service chiefs. If you have 100 slots or positions for ministerial, you give the men 50, if you do not, we are taking it down.
I like how you put this, taking it down. It sounds
It's a
like
show. I'm sorry, but
you're watching a movie of the Amazon. So I say, you know what? We are going to do
this 2019, the cabinet,
Are
we
we
don't
talking
have
all of this for 2019? Because let's
not
say
just
the realm of
2019 and
reality.
beyond.
If we lose it this time, we are
2019
doomed.
If we don't get it
I
now,
am telling you, we are so
if we don't get
finished.
it now, that's the end.
2019 and beyond. Any
so
party,
finished.
and we're working
we
across
would
political
be
parties.
a joke if we don't get it
If we
now.
don't get it out, we're finished.
I am curious. Okay. What political parties? Because if you look at all of the parties, it seems like
Yes.
the APC, the PDP, ABGA, Labour, maybe trickle down to small. You
Yes.
start to wonder which of these parties do women actually wield some influence, some strength,
None.
some
They
significant
don't
position.
Before now, prior to
So
now,
where do we start from? When
They-
we don't have
they don't
independent
will-
parties.
well,
You have to
they-
by
write on
telling
these
them
parties.
that
coming
we either have 50, if you have, like in the political parties, if you have 100 positions or 50 positions now for the national working committees, you cannot have 7 men and have 3
One,
women.
one,
You
actually,
can no.
one, that's
Let me. You cannot have it will divide it equally. If it is for 8, you have 4 women and you have 4 men.
Okay.
And then we get to decide who gets
If
there,
it is
because you can't
the
just pick
chairman, we
somebody
want a
who
woman as a
doesn't
deputy
have
chairman.
capacity and cannot represent the women, and it's all about sharing money. We passed that stage of sharing money. We are working, we're all working. And so we're sacrificing our resources. So nobody is going to come and then you impose any woman and say, this is your woman leader.
When they impose the
no,
woman
we
on
don't
us,
need
we
that
know what we
anymore.
did.
We will tell you, look, this is the person that we want because we need somebody that we can access, somebody who is always there, not somebody who will be globetrotting all over. No, we don't. That time has changed. That's an old generation.
And now, how to get all of this thing done is what I think we haven't still hit the
No,
nail
we
on the
have.
head.
We have.
Which one? We said we're mobilizing.
Getting
We're
gra-
mobilizing.
at the grassroots
Numbers.
level.
Yeah,
In
okay.
numbers.
Yes.
You see, one of the things I tell politicians, which is why I say grassroots is important. If you got back to your village right now and you call for a meeting without inducing people financially and they turn up, that's a plus. Okay? If I go home and my people know I'm coming and I tell the youth council president that I want to address all the females,
Yeah.
they turn up. I don't need to give them money. I've not been giving them money. Because the thing is, information is very powerful. And this is the deceit templates that the bad elites have been using on the masses. So they just tell you, okay, with their think tank, you know what, guys, keep saying this to them. So we are using the strategy. We are now passing our own information and saying, look, these guys are using you. They're using you. They're not using their kids. And I remember I said to someone, I said, how many of you here have your international passport? That in event that there is a foreseen war in this country, how many of you can leave this country? You're not going to need your national ID card to run to Cotonou. So that's to tell you that these guys really don't care. So when you have women like us who are coming out, because you must be courageous. This fight, the battle to save the soul of this country is not a joke. So you must be fearless, you must be courageous, because we're going to be dealing, we know what we're coming up against, and we are ready to deal with it. But for now, let the galvanizing take place. And when we have the strength in numbers, they will look for us to negotiate. At that point, we're telling you this is how we want it.
Exactly.
If you don't want it, forget it. Nobody is voting for it.
Nobody is voting.
This movement's about young ladies. You're young.
No.
And you start to wonder about it. I mean, we're looking at a lot of people who are chasing after old politicians, trying to get validation from them. You start to think about who endorses in terms of this movement that we're looking at right now.
Oh, well, we're not looking for endorsement. We have already been endorsed. You know why? When God created us, he said all men are equal before him.
Okay, I beg to differ.
No, hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. Now, you know why?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say we have endorsements.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I don't want, because we are
By
not depending.
endorsement, I mean some influential
We do have
political actor who say
heavy
it is time for women.
We
Like
have,
they're saying
yes,
for
we
young
do.
people.
No. Like,
On this
people have
platform,
been saying that.
on this, I didn't want to go there because we want to do it by ourselves.
Okay.
All right, but on this platform that I'm talking about, we have heavy, old political leaders, old, past and present. We have ministers, former ministers. We have governors on the platform. We have even the former president. All right, but I don't want us to look at that and say, oh, we're looking for endorsement.
No, I think
They
it's
are
not
there.
necessarily endorsement, because you need guidance.
Yeah, so that was
Because
what I was going to
This
say.
is a tough that
Now-
is new
Okay,
to some person.
okay,
so
now,
you need guidance.
So what,
Okay, now-
what I was going to say to that was that what we would need would be women who are already occupying these positions, women who have been doing this for a long time, to kind of mentor younger women.
No,
we
they're
are
not
doing that.
interested.
They
Women,
are.
where are they?
We have
They are.
on this platform I'm talking about.
Okay.
They are.
Women
There
for
are
women.
some
We
women.
also
We're
have
not
he
hearing-
for
we're not
she.
hearing about them.
No, we are coming. We
We're
have
not
that
hearing
because
about
You arrive on the election.
no,
day,
the
it's not
election
that
day.
you
I
need to
just
keep the
told
pace.
you. You know, sometimes you need to do the groundwork.
about that.
It's not about just coming out and talking. First be ready. First be prepared. So we're preparing. Like now we have this segment where there we have 7 senators. We have former senators. And I mean, imagine these are thousands of women. So out of thousands of women, about how many, about 11 of them or 8 of them are former women, Minister for Women Affairs. We have the former governors.
Barrister
Now,
Chychy.
you know what they're doing? We have this segment where the older women mentor the younger women to prepare them. So
No,
that
but there has to be publicity.
There is
Because I'm just saying that's your movement.
I
Now
thought-
I have my movement.
Yeah.
Now I'm hearing this for the
first
first
time.
time, because you cannot have such women as senators, as former ministers, and there's no publicity. Because you see, there's something about when people see such things happening.
visibility.
When you have visibility, it strikes, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
what is going on? And it will actually make the men to sit up. But when you just have that, because for me, with all due respect to some of these women who are in politics, they haven't done well.
No.
They haven't,
I
because
agree.
I keep saying, where are your proteges?
Yeah.
Now, as young as I am, I have proteges. When I tell them move, even when I'm not there, they know what to do. You know, so it's about building people. It's not because elections are coming.
Yeah.
I'm building people 10, 20 years from now. That I'm going to say, look, I see in you that you have the potential to be a president of this country. But let there be visibility. Because everything I'm doing on the Strategic Thinker Support Initiative, we have visuals. I play them. When I go to seminars, I play them. And
Yeah.
people are seeing evidence. And now
Yeah.
it's allowing for the men to say, you know what, we're going to back you. And when they see that, look, the men will now know that these women are out. And you know the power of a woman? Do you know the power? It's not
latent.
a joke.
It's
If we
latent.
choose and we say we are not coming out to vote,
That's it.
and we tell all the women under us not to come out, nobody will
Do you
vote.
know this number? The voters, I think we have more.
Yeah, we have
women
more.
than
More
men.
women.
Nobody will come out
The
to
men
vote.
actually
block.
agree that it is the women that vote.
Yeah.
You
for
know,
them.
nobody will come out. When we say everybody sit at home, then they will understand. But the thing is, she has her numbers. I have my numbers. What we're doing is networking. And then when you have followers who listen to you, there's nothing as amazing as that. Because it's not enough to just have a lot of people, and then when you're saying we're going left, people are tilting to right because some people have compromised. because they've been given money. Now, those are the factors we take into consideration. That amongst us, internally in my organization, we have people who are checkmating those that are there.
Yeah.
And we have them putting eyes for those who are greedy. When we see your weakness, we say, guy, chill. You can't
Not
be
the kind
here.
of character
No, we
need at
don't
the
need that.
moment.
Because Nigeria is
Break, and we'll be back with the woman. The role of women in politics is what we're talking about, discussing this Wednesday afternoon. It's quite an interesting, fiery, animated conversation here, and you want to be a part of it.
I bet you the men are going to abuse us.